Hi, it's Kathy, the Backyard Stamper, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very cute Easter card. And we're going to be using the bundle called Easter Bunny. It has the matching coordinating punch, which is right here. This is currently not available, but it will be coming back in May. So you can still get the stamp set. And I encourage you to do that because the punch only punches this one bunny out, but look at all the other items that you have in here. And these are really easy to fussy cut if you need to. So if you like the bunnies, don't be afraid to not get the bundle just because the punch is currently unavailable. It will be coming back. The other stamp set we're going to use is the Happy Hedgehogs, and we're using this flowering bush right here. And let's get started. I'll show you the supplies that we're going to need. I've got a half a sheet of So Saffron, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4.25. Get that a little burnish here. Okay. I've got 2 pieces of Highland Heather, and they measure 5.25 by 4. 2 pieces of basic white, and they measure 3 3/4 by 5. So we've got our layering pieces. I've also got a strip of petal pink for the bunny, and the color pads that we're going to be using are Balmy Blue, Pear Pizzazz, and Highland Heather. Okay, let's get started here. What I did was I stamped the grass in Pear Pizzazz, and then I used the Granny Apple Green markers to color it in. So you get a little bit of contrast in the green. So I'm going to, oh, you know what? Yeah, we can do that, and then I'll show you something else. All right, so we're just going to stamp the grass along the bottom. And then, like I said, I'm just going to use my Granny Apple Green light and just kind of ground the grass blades a little bit. So kind of quick and easy here. What you want to do is make sure your bottom is filled in so that the grass isn't floating up in the air. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then before I stamp my little flowering bush, I want to use the blending brush on the top of the card. So I find the easiest way is to dip a stamping block into the color, and then I have that available to use. It lets me control it a little bit easier, I think. And you want to start off your paper and then come in. And that's about it. I didn't want too much. It kind of looks like a sky with some puffy clouds there. And that is exactly what I was going for. Let me get that out of the way. Okay. And now I'm going to stamp my flowering bush. This came from the Happy Hedgehogs, this one right here. And I love it. It's just delicate, and plus it's super easy to color in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp and cut off a couple of the leaves. So I just went to that first flower and give it some good pressure. There. And we don't have to worry that the tree trunk is up higher because we've got eggs that are going to kind of cover it. So I'm just going to do some quick coloring here. I used the light soft suede for the branch, or yeah, the branch, the stem, the trunk, all of the above. And I am going to use the Highland Heather, and I'm going to use the dark for the center of the flowers, and then just kind of draw my lines in the center of those flowers. Anywhere there was like a definition line there, that's what I'm going to do right now. The area isn't really super big to do any great amount of shading, but this will give us just what we need. And then I've got my light Highland Heather, and I'm just going to fill in. I don't know what I did before stamping blends, because I sure use them on the majority of my cards. So I don't know what I did before. I know I love two-step stamping, so I know I did a lot of that, and I use the watercolor pencils too. But ever since the blends came out, that's my go-to for coloring. And then on my leaves, I'm just got the Granny Apple Green Light, and I'm just gonna fill in the whole leaf with that. Pretty quick to color. And then I'm just gonna do just a few accents with the dark, kind of do the vine. I don't need to do a whole lot like this. It's just too small of a surface area, but just that little bit still adds a little something something. Okay, so now let's do our bunny. Let's set that aside. I've got my petal pink, and I'm gonna stamp my bunny in the Memento Black. And I'm going to use the punch, even though, like I said, this is really easy to fussy cut out. And I'm looking to see, where did I set the punch down? It must be right in front of me, and I can't see it. Sorry. Oh, I got it. I tucked it away. All right, so here's my, sorry about that. Okay, so there's my bunny. And I am going to have that right here. And I need some eggs. And my eggs, the eggs, I fussy cut. So I've got a couple of eggs, and just whatever color you want to color them is great. So I want a little bit of yellow. I want some purple. Normally I would color first before fussy cutting on something this small. Okay, and this is the Flirting Flamingo. And we'll do a little bit of green over here, Granny Apple. I love to color Easter eggs. It was such a fun thing to do with the kids when they were little. And I'll finish this one off with some purple, Highland Heather Light. Okay. And I'm going to put those on like a little bit like that. My bunny's going to go here. And I'm going to put that on with a little bit of liquid glue. I did try to see, I saw how it looked with the eggs popped up, and I really didn't like it as well. It was like just too, it looked funny. It looked unnatural. So, and we'll put that like right there. And we'll put some dimensionals on the bunny. Actually, I'm not going to adhere the bunny yet, because I want to put my layers together before I have all the dimensionals on there. But the last thing we have to stamp is our sentiment. And I have one ready. So I've got, this is a stitched rectangle from the Stylish Shapes. You can use deckled rectangles, the stitched rectangles. I just happen to have one of those already cut out, so I said, well, I'm going to use that. I'm trying to use what I have, right? Especially if it's already cut out. That makes it quick and easy. Test that, and that looks pretty good. That is a little bit high. Let me try one more. There we go. Much better. Now, even though the stitching is backwards, I still use this side because a person receiving the card doesn't necessarily know that. So don't throw those mistakes away. You can still use them. All right, so let's put dimensionals on that, and then we'll set that aside too. All right, let's stamp our inside. This is our outside. Let's stamp our inside, and we're going to use Highland Heather. Okay, I put that down somewhere too, because I know I had it, but you can always use the Balmy Blue, because I've got that right here. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Oh my gosh, it's right there. You guys were probably saying, Kathy, it's right next to you. Okay, I've got my white. I've got my Easter sentiment. Now, I did a little stamp surgery, and you see the line right there? right here. I cut it in half because some of my cards, I'll show you a sample, I wanted it to be 2 rows. So I put it back together for this one because 1 row works. Okay, let's put that right there. And then I'm going to come in with my Memento Black and my little flower sprig from the Easter Bunny set. And we'll do that. And we'll just do quick coloring with this one. It's a little off center, but that's okay because I'll put a little butterfly there and bring it back. I didn't go too crazy with the coloring back here because for time, and that was the dark. So let's try with the light here. That's kind of what I wanted. Oops, right outside the line there. I'll show you the color lifter can fix that. Okay, so my color lifter is right here. It's never too far. So I'm just gonna put a little bit there and let that dry. That is pretty far off the center here, but I'll put a butterfly here after and fix that all up. All right, let's put our card together. So I've got my inside piece. I'm going to layer it on a piece of Highland Heather. It's a special time of the year with Easter, so I'm dressing the card up a little bit more than I might normally. And we'll put that on inside my So Saffron base. I just like to have the corners have the tape on it. Okay. See how the color lifter lifted that, my mistake of coloring outside the line? And I'm going to give it a good burnish right now. There we go. All right, and let's layer this piece. This will be one of the cards that we're making at my upcoming class on February 18th. Seats are limited, but I do have a couple of spaces if anybody wants to let me know. Happy to have you if I can. I'm here in New Hampshire, so my email is backyardstamper@gmail.com. So just give me a shout. Okay, it's coming together. I've got my sentiment that I stamped earlier. See how doing the background, like this, it would have been without the blending, but it really makes it soft when you've blended with the balmy blue and give it some cloud effect going on. And here's my bunny. So cute. And then I did add a little tiny bit of ribbon to make a faux bow. This is balmy blue. It may be retired, but ribbon stash, you know. Gotta use it while you got it, right? Okay, I've got my little hedgehog glue dot box that I made. Right there. Let you see that one. That's so cute too. All right, and then I just put that on with the little glue dot in the corner. Let me just cut those down just a smidge. They're a little bit too long. Okay, and now I need some Wink of Stella, and I'm going to color my flowers, give them a little sparkle. The Wink of Stella is just, it's amazing that it gives you the sparkle that it does without having to glue on any kind of glitter. So it's pretty fantastic. Okay, and the last thing for my special card is the Pearl Basic Jewels. I'm going to put on the pearls using my take your pick tool. This for $10 is the very best thing. I can just tell you, I used to like just pick them up with my pokey tool, but this really makes it easy. So you just push and lift and then set it right down. These have the adhesive already on the back, so can't go wrong. There. Let's get all my stuff out of the way. And there you have it. There's my card for today. I just wanted to remind you of a couple things. The joining special is still going on until the end of February. And I do have a host code for February. Anybody that places an order with me this month using the host code will receive a special gift. And if you'd like to purchase anything that we used today making the card, please shop my online store, kathyschmitt.stampinup.net. If you have any questions, please send me an email, backyardstamper@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye-bye.